That's Tony Hancock in. Hancock's half hour.
That was a great result last week, Sid. We got 20,000 out of Andrew Lloyd Sneyd, plus 2 tickets to see Ray Vita. Next time it's on at the Theatre Royal. Righty-ho, I'm ready for action. Have we got any work on this week, Sid?
I'm afraid this week is a bit quiet. All we've got is another lockdown nutter. It should be an easy 300 nicker though, but that's all.
It's on account that it's the holiday season, Sid. You say nutter. What exactly has he been up to? He's not dangerous, is he? Not an estate agent by any chance?
We don't think he's dangerous. He's just a run-of-the-mill weekend freedom fighter, Hancock. He's been peeling the maps off the underground of British rail trains and the tube station.
That's a bit daft, Sid. Why is he doing that? The maps are there to show people the way. Nobody can find a fence with them, surely.
I ain't got a clue, but we can ask the bloke, because the police have sent him round here. He should be here any minute. They warn me he's refusing to wear a mask, though.
I'm not worried about masks, Sid. I've put up with you breathing all over me for the last 6 months, haven't I?
Yeah, but I ain't got the coronavirus, have I?
But how do you know? How do you know? Every breath of yours could have been my last. It could contain several trillion viruses.
Good morning, I'm Morgan Corbin Pierce. I'm not wearing a mask, you can't make me, no one can make me, I was born a free man. Anyway, they give me a rash. I don't like to wear them on the tube because that's the rash hour.
Have no fear, it doesn't matter, Mr. Pierce, we've all been vaccinated. The trusty AstraZeneca. Boris swears by it.
Don't take everything Boris says as gospel. I've not been vaccinated. I refuse. You can't make me. It's deadly. The AstraZeneca makes you go blind. And this giant fungus swallows you whole. They worship it, the liberal elite. The giant fungus, that is.
It didn't make me go blind, did it?
Well, it's going to. Just you wait and see. Particularly if I poke you in the eye with this pencil. Then there's what happens in your legs. You've got spindly ones, but you just wait and see.
I quite like my legs. What happens to them?
They'll swell up like balloons, won't they? And you can't stop moving them.
You mean restless leg syndrome?
No, more like river dance for elephants. People beg to be shot in the end, and it's quite frightening. Most of my friends have had it, except for me. I haven't been vaccinated. I've refused. I'm not stupid like the rest of them.
This is all very well, Mr. Morgan Corbin Pierce, but I regret to have to inform you that the reason you're here is you've been spotted on CCTV peeling the maps off the London Underground, and no one knows why. It's been causing consternation and mayhem amongst the travelling public.
What do I have? It's not against the law, is it? The maps are all our property. It's collective. It's public. We all pay for them, don't we?
I'm afraid it is against the law.
You're trying to cancel me, aren't you? All right, what's my crime against the liberal elite and their outdated Victorian legal system then? 10 years for mat nicking, eh?
It says here, defacing property owned by the London Underground, £300 fine. All right, but why did you do it?
Now you're starting to talk to me like a human being. Do you know how many tube stations begin with the letter Q?
Now look here, Morgan Corbin Pierce. I'm the one who's asking the question.
Well, if you're not interested, I won't tell you. It's all in my book anyway. The Jeremy Clarkson Top Gear Conspiracy.
I know. 3.
3 what, Sid?
There are 3 tube stations that begin with the letter Q. Queen's Park, Queensway and Queensbury. I used to be in a quiz pub team. Pub quiz team.
You've never been in a quiz pub team in your life. Which one was it? Who's stupid enough to put you in a quiz pub team?
It was the East Cheam Armed Sea Team. The Hustlers, we were called.
Okay then, clever clogs. What's the full station called? The secret one, like Area 51 in the States. It's never been on the map. It was admitted deliberately.
Kew Gardens.
Kew Gardens does not begin with Q. It's an homophone.
Victoria.
Don't be so daft. Victoria doesn't begin with a Q, and it's not secret.
Yeah, but Queen Victoria does. Come on, tell us. If it's already in your book, we'll just go out and buy a copy, won't we?
Oh, suit yourself. It's QAnon Station.
I've got a map here. There's no QAnon station marked. Where do you think it is?
I've been there. It's in between Blackfriars and Marble Arch. But don't let anyone know. I told you, the Freemasons are already after me.
My knowledge of the London Underground is not great, Mr. Piers, but if I remember rightly, there isn't a tube station between Blackfriars and Marble Arch.
All the signboards have been taken down. For many years it served as a nuclear bunker. Now it's a secret tube station. QAnon Station is where the liberal elite run the country.
That still doesn't explain why you're stealing all the maps off the tubes and the platforms.
How can I steal my own property? All property's theft anyway. I'm just going to put QAnon Station on the maps and stick them back. And then people will know where to get off to protest at the liberal elite.
I'm afraid, Mr. Morgan Corbin Piers, I do not accept your plea and your explanation. You don't have to convince me anyway with your story, but you will have to convince Judge See-Through at Sheen Crown Court this coming Wednesday.
Well, it's a lovely sunny day, Usher, and I'm feeling as if I could take on the whole damned criminal underworld single-handedly. Who is on first today?
It's a Morgan Corbin Piers, Your Honour. He's a bit of a character by all accounts. He has a peculiar way of looking at things.
I don't mind characters, providing they accord me the full honour and dignity that befits my position, and know when to shut up.
Right, Your Honour. I'm 100% behind you on that one. Calling Mr. Morgan Corbin Piers.
Good morning, Your Honour. I would just like you to know I'm 100% behind you.
Mr. Piers, were you listening to what the usher just said? It's no good repeating what the usher says, like some parrot. That won't butter any parsnips, not here in my court.
No, I wasn't listening to what the usher said. What did he say?
I'm 100% behind you.
Ooh, thank you. Oh, that's good. I'll plead not guilty then, my lord. Can I go? I've got a little protest march to organise. We're going to glue ourselves to number 10.
Blast it! No, you cannot. And don't you twist my words. I met people like you, anarchists and troublemakers. Not in my court, do you hear? Not in my court!
No need to shout. I've got a glue ear from gluing myself to people's doors.
And I'm 100% behind you too, Judge See-Through. By the way, what is behind you? It looks like a door. Where does it lead? To some stairs and a wine cellar, I should think.
Mind your own business. What are you doing here, Hancock? Are you using this court as a doss house or something?
No, I'm with the funny-looking one. I would like you to fine him for stealing all the maps off the Underground, Your Honour.
Oh, why can't you leave respectable criminals alone, Hancock?
It's my job, Your Honour. More a vacation, actually. Anyway, me and Sid have just arrived. It took us 5 hours to get here on the tube, as we didn't know which direction we should have been going, on account of there being no map.
That's hardly my fault, is it? It says here you come from East Cheam. Why on earth did you travel by tube? Claiming expenses, were you? You're not going to get any expenses from me.
It's Hancock's fault. He said we could take the tube and have a look to see how many of the maps were missing.
Well, you're here now, unfortunately. Now, Mr. Piers, why are you removing all the maps on the tube? It takes an awfully long time for someone to put them up, and people like Mr. Hancock get lost. However, we don't care about him. It's all the others we're actually worried about.
Because the tube maps are inaccurate, Your Honour. I hate inaccuracies. I'm a scientist, ain't I?
That's funny. I hate inaccuracies too. I like clear-cut information and evidence. So why do you say the maps are incorrect, Mr. Piers?
Because they are missing a station called QAnon, which is where the liberal elite hold their meetings.
So you're a philanthropist. Well, get the maps undated and replace them. You're doing the right thing. Case dismissed.
Don't believe him, Your Honour. He's a troublemaker and a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, no, I'm not, my lord. Look, I've got a map with QAnon on.
Oh, yes, I see. Mr. Hancock, he's telling the truth. He's got a map which clearly has QAnon station marked on it. What do you say to that?
He's making it up. He draws the stations on in felt tip, Your Honour.
Well, it looks pretty realistic to me. A bit smudged, but there you are. Ignore Inspector Hancock, Mr. Piers. What else have you got to say for yourself? Who are these liberal elites?
The liberal elite are a group of people in society who exist to oppress people like you and me, make our lives a misery, and subject and oppress us, and use us poor innocent victims as slaves and playthings.
Yes, I can relate to that. Could you name some of these people, Mr. Piers?
There's loads of them: Gary Lineker, Tony Blair, John Bercow, and Hitler, to name only 4.
Lineker, Blair and Bercow don't surprise me. But Hitler, he's in the liberal elite, is he? I don't like him, so it could be true. Well, Mr. Piers, I'm beginning to believe your story.
You can't believe that load of old nonsense, Judge See-Through? Hitler indeed. You can't believe a word that Morgan Corbin Pierce says. He's a compulsive liar.
And Inspector Hancock is in the liberal elite as well.
How dare you? I am not. I always vote Conservative.
So you're in the liberal elite, are you, Hancock? I might have known. Yes, you've been sent here to make my life a misery, haven't you? Who sent you? What else can you tell me, Mr. Piers?
These liberal elites make up all sorts of stories, such as coronavirus can kill you. It can't. That we need to wear masks. We don't. They're trying to turn us into a faceless mass. And if we try and tell the truth, they cancel us. As for global warming, it's flipping chilly, isn't it?
What you say makes a lot of sense, Mr. Piers. There's no point me siding with the liberal elite like Hancock, is there? I agree he's trying to silence you, isn't he? I take umbrage at this, because it's very sinister.
Hang on a minute. There's no scientific evidence for anything he says, Your Honour. Science isn't everything, is it, Hancock? What about intuition and sixth sense? Don't you have a go as well, Sid James? Since when have you joined QAnon? You haven't got any intuition? Where did you get all that from? The sporting life? As a matter of fact, he's running in the 3:30 at sundown. Who is? Intuition, of course.
Well, Mr. Hancock, it looks like you're outnumbered. We are all in total agreement with Mr. Piers. Case dismissed.
Outnumbered? This isn't a battle, Your Honour. I refuse to accept your verdict.
Usher, call security. We have a protester from the liberal elite in Court 3. Tell them to bring pepper spray and their longest, hardest truncheon.